Tonight's discussion of the week video was requested by OAW patron Jonathan R. Salute to you, sir. And if you have a topic that you would like to see discussed right here on OAW Entertainment, become a patron at patreon.com/OAW and select the discussion of the week tier. The discussion of the week tier is just $10. And for $10, not only do you get to request a discussion of the week topic of your own, but you also get access to all Patreon exclusive content. The OAW Vault, which is the exclusive collection of the first 2 seasons of Otaku Assemble Weekly, the original anime and manga review web series, but you also get an invite to the monthly Q&A hosted right here on YouTube and on the OAW Facebook page. So once again, that is patreon.com/OAW and select the discussion of the week tier. And with that being said, this is going to be my thoughts, my discussion of the week on gender inequality in professional sports. Let's go ahead and let's get it started.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Greetings, everyone watching live and everyone watching after the fact. Shout out to the faithful and salute to the patrons. This is Larry Williams, OAW Commander-in-Chief, and I'm here to bring you all another discussion of the week video. Now, tonight's discussion of the week topic once again comes from OAW patron Jonathan R. Once again, salute to you, sir. Big shout out to him. Thanks again for becoming a patron and supporting the channel. So I went ahead and I hit my man Jonathan up to get his request for this week. And so yeah, tonight's topic, I was like, oh, okay, well, let's just go ahead and let's get into it. I got it pulled up right here. All right. So my man Jonathan R says, he says, a topic I was interested in you discussing is on gender equality in sports, more specifically on women wanting women's sports to be equal to men's sports, and about transgendered people wanting to compete in sports and not being segregated to a specific trans division. If you only want to talk about one of those two, that's fine, but they fall into a similar area with both dealing with equality in sports, so thought I'd suggest them together. Seeing the women's soccer team sue for equal pay and transgender athletes having great success going from male to female and having a large backing that says they don't have a competitive advantage are what interests me in this topic. So essentially what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pretty much share my thoughts on each subtopic that Jonathan has right here in his description. All right, so first things first, and let me go ahead and see how I want to do this. All right, so excuse me, y'all. I am just in the process of changing graphics. Where is my thumbnail? Ah, there it is. All right, beautiful. All right, so yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pretty much tackle each little subtopic that Jonathan mentions. I'll give my thoughts on that. And just so you guys know, I will be taking some questions towards the end of tonight's broadcast. Of course, those are going to have to be pertaining to tonight's topic. But in the event that you have a question for me that you want to make sure gets answered on air before the end of tonight's broadcast, you can always send that in a super chat, and I'll make sure all super chats get answered on air before we end tonight. Cool? All right. So first things first, let's go ahead and let's talk about. So I went ahead and I titled this video Gender Inequality in Sports, right? Inequality. And the reason why I did that was because the phenomenon of inequality does exist in sports. Like, we can just see that. You see what I'm saying? What I mean by that is from just first impression, eyeball test, we can see that, yeah, everything is not equal across the board when it comes to professional sports, especially when it comes into the dealings with the different genders. Here's the thing about that, and here's kind of my thing about that, though. I don't believe in equality in sports. This is what I mean. Sports, by definition, by pure nature, should be meritorious. meaning that you get out what you put in. So I don't believe in participation trophies. I don't. Like, no, you don't get awarded for just participating in the sport. The reward is being able to participate in the sport in the first place. So, and by that same token, when it comes to children, I don't believe. I believe in tryouts. I don't believe that you should automatically make the team just because you went out for the team. No, there should be tryouts, meaning that you should have to earn your way onto the team. Then you should have to earn your way into the starting lineup. And then you should have to win games and then earn a championship. Your reward is the fact that you made the team in the first place. Your reward is the fact that you got to compete in the first place. Your reward is the fact that you may have had the opportunity to compete for that championship in the first place. Are we clear on that? So I don't believe in participation trophies. I don't believe in everyone should make the team. I don't believe in quote unquote I don't believe in the conventional idea or the conventional concept of equality when it comes to sports, because we're not equal. That, that is just the fact. Okay. Um, Now, here's the thing about that though. Now, when you want to talk about equal, okay, gender equality, okay, I do think things should be equal in terms of each gender. You see what I'm saying? So the rules should be the same in men's basketball, just like they should be the same in women's basketball. But should the rules be the same in men's that it is in women's? No. Why? Because we're different. We're not equal. That's why we have baseball, which is played predominantly by men, and softball, which is played predominantly by women. Should softball have baseball rules? No. Should baseball have softball rules? Well, for the most part, it kind of does. But the rules that are specific to softball, no, baseball should not have those rules. Why? Because we're different. We are not equals. We understand that. We're not equals. From our dude, this is what I'm talking about right now. So, sorry, not sorry if it hurts your feelings. I'm talking about facts. From a biomechanical, biometrical, our body chemistry isn't even the same. We are different. And because we are different, our sport should be reflected different. Okay? Now, if you've managed to make it this far into the video and you haven't clicked off yet, let's go and let's get into more detail about these specific issues mentioned in this request. Everything I just said applies, right? That being said, first thing I want to go ahead and I want to talk about is this whole equal pay piece. Okay. Guess what? My philosophy in terms of pay is the same as the philosophy I gave you all earlier in this video. You want to know what though? The main story I'm going to talk about tonight is the U.S. women's soccer team, because currently they're in a legal fight for equal pay, right? Okay, now here's the funny thing about that though, and I got something special for you guys too for tonight. So don't worry about that. But here this is pretty much what my stance on that whole thing is. Okay, the U.S. women's soccer team, right? They want pay equal to their male counterparts. I don't have a problem with that. You want to know why? Because every athlete in professional sports has to negotiate their salary, all of them. And guess what? It's their right to negotiate their salary to the best of their ability. So of course I'm not going to fucking knock them. Hey, by all means, do you, right? Here's the thing about that though. Now, some people would argue whether or not they deserve it. Well, guess what? Take a picture, take a look at this picture. You see that around their necks? Do y'all see that? Do y'all see that? Y'all see those? Do y'all see those? That's gold medals, bruh. Those are gold medals. Remember what I just got done saying about how I think sports should be meritorious? Those are gold medals. They're gold medalists. I think they have a case for a raise. Now, like I said, their ability to be able to get said raise, well, shit, man. I mean, that's just going to depend on their ability to negotiate and their agents and their managers and so on and so forth. I mean, there's a lot of cooks in that kitchen. We don't know what that stew's going to look like, right? But number one, they should be able to negotiate said pay raise because every athlete should be able to. And number two, they have a case for it because they're gold medalists. They're gold medalists. Okay? Now, this is where the story gets murky. Are y'all ready for this? Instead of, and for the record, I had to go ahead and I had to do some research about this whole story just because everything I knew about this story prior to Jonathan's request was from the main sports outlets, right? ESPN, Fox Sports, that type of thing. Like that was pretty much everything I knew, right? So I had to go up and I had to do some research because I remember just recently the U.S. women's soccer team's lawsuit got thrown out of court. It got dismissed by the judge. That happened a couple of weeks ago. And I remember hearing about that story. So I went ahead and I looked into it, right? And so this is where everything gets murky. And for the record, let me just go ahead and throw this out there too. It took me less than 10 minutes to find conflicting information on this story. Granted, it was different articles from different sources written over the course of 2 years. No, 18 months. I'm sorry. Over the course of 18 months, right? Because the earliest article I found dated as far back as 2018, right? But it did not take long for me to find conflicting information on what's been going on. But NPR, I found an article on NPR that pretty much broke it down pretty well. Okay. Now, here's the issue facing the women's U.S. soccer team right now. Okay. Like I said, should they be able to negotiate for more pay? Yup. Do they have a case for it? They got gold medals. You're damn sure they do. This is where things become a problem. In their lawsuit, they filed a lawsuit stating that their stance was gender discrimination. That's a criminal accusation. You pretty much are accusing your employer of committing a crime. And remember what happened, just so everyone knows, okay? The way, because I have a lot of international viewers, right? So the way US law works, if you take somebody to court for something and you are pretty much accusing them of committing a crime, or at least you have a grievance to present up before a judge, okay, here's the thing. If you are the plaintiff, right? You have to prove that the person in which you're accusing did whatever you said they did so with beyond the shadow of a doubt. Which means that the US women's soccer team pretty much they're the ones responsible for proving that some type of discrimination took place in the first place, which is pretty fucking hard. That's pretty difficult to pull off. It's pretty difficult to pull off. This is what happened though. According to the article that I read on NPR, the judge he threw one of the decisions out because he said that based upon the CBA, which is the collective bargaining agreement, for the record, Every professional sport has a collective bargaining agreement. That collective bargaining agreement are pretty much the contract. Well, okay, let me not say contract because I don't want people to get confused with players' individual contracts. But pretty much the collective bargaining agreement is sort of like the terms of use, right? Think of it like the terms of use. So before the athletes and the coaches and the staff and everything, before anybody does anything within a particular sport for any particular season, they have to be under a collective bargaining agreement. If they do not have a collective bargaining agreement, there is no sport. That's why MLB, Major League Baseball, still hasn't come back yet because they are right now negotiating a new CBA, a new collective bargaining agreement. Okay, the collective bargaining agreement is agreed upon by the players and by the team owners. Okay. And what the judge said was, he said that based upon the collective bargaining agreement that the players had already agreed to, their base salaries are reflective of what was in that CBA, right? Well, ladies, I mean, that's every sport now, you know. NFL just signed their CBA. I think the NBA CBA is this year, or maybe it's next year, right? MLB is going through their CBA. I mean, that's that's what happens. Okay. Um, Now, of course, I mean, I'm pretty sure they're going to appeal it and whatnot. Because here's the other thing too. So there were multiple decisions in that case. The judge only threw out that one. There are still some other ones that are ongoing, right? There are still some other parts of that are ongoing, but that one particular one is the one that got thrown out. So, and I'm pretty sure they'll appeal it, and it'll probably go back to to another judge or whatnot, or it might even go. Well, hang on. I need to remind myself how high did that verdict go? Because I don't think it was it was a federal judge. Yeah, okay, federal court. So it was a federal judge. Um, Central District, yeah, Central District of California. Okay. Um, but yeah, so I mean, the thing is, that's how CBAs work. Now of course, like I said, the ladies, they can go ahead, they can appeal it, keep fighting in the court. Here's the other thing too. When that CBA expires, because here's the thing about CBAs have to be renewed every so many years. So when the next one comes up, yeah, that's where you make the fucking stand. That's when you tell them, like, yo, we're not playing for any less than this. We want this. That's where you make your demands when the CBA comes up for renegotiation. Until then, I mean, they're either gonna have to hold out, right, where they just don't fucking play, or just wait until the fucking CBA, man. That's pretty much what that is. That's pretty much what that is. Um, real quick, what's funny on that? Because I ended up going off into a tangent like I always do. Of course, y'all know, y'all watch my channel, whatnot. I actually have a video from my man Nate Brody. You all might remember him from the Marvel Phase 4 discussion on the channel last year. My man Nate Brody, he actually did a full-blown video on this. It's not that long. It's only like 20 minutes or so. It's like just over 19 minutes. I was actually going to play that just because Nate knows way more stuff about this. And Nate is a former attorney. Actually, I found out this afternoon, he is a former assistant district attorney. So Nate knows his shit. And he knows way more about this than I do, and he knows way more about like legality than I do. But I'm pretty much gonna leave it up to y'all in the chat. Let me know if y'all want to go ahead and y'all want to see Nate's video. I will play Nate's video. But just to make sure I don't lose track of time. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead. So that's pretty much what my piece on the gender inequality as far as it pertains to the equal pay argument, right? And like I said, for the sake of that argument, I use the U.S. women's soccer team just because that's the most recent case. For the record, though, the whole like fight for equal pay thing, I remember a couple of years ago the WNBA was doing that. I know some other organizations have done that as well. Usually, the counter argument every time, equal pay for equal performance, that whole type of thing, right? Every time that comes up in sports, the counter argument seems to always be this, but it's not equal performance. Why? Female sports do not earn as much as male sports. And those are facts. Go and Google that shit right now. Go and Google that shit right now. Find me dude. The only sports where women's play earns more than male play is like volleyball. And actually, oh man, I had a list of them earlier. But it's like it's the type of sports you'll see in the Olympics, right? Like, yeah, but if we're talking about like professional sports, like the big name sports, American football, basketball, um, baseball, hockey, soccer, no, no, the female variants, the female leagues do not make more money than the male leagues. So, and guess what? The pay is reflective of that. Unless there is a caveat, ladies and gentlemen, unless you're talking about individual sports. Please believe Serena Williams makes a fuck ton more money than some male athletes. Actually, I think Serena Williams makes more money than most male athletes. Individual sport. Same thing with Sharapova. Same thing with her. Um, Individual sports. I remember when Danica Patrick made it to NASCAR. When Danica Patrick jumped over to NASCAR, she was one of the highest paid racers in NASCAR, an individual sport. And then I remember when Ronda Rousey was still the women's bantamweight champion in UFC. Ronda had pretty much she had a whole like contract dispute with Dana White and with the UFC. But guess what? Ronda never claimed gender discrimination. What Ronda said was, "Look, bro, I'm headlining events now. You have my name in your event title. I want to get paid like a main eventer." That was her case. And she got paid. But once again, that's an individual sport. So it seems like that's not really the case. The whole like equal pay for equal performance thing doesn't seem to be the case when it comes to individual sports. Seems like that's more common when it comes to team sports. And when it comes to team sports, like I said, the counter argument to that argument is always, well, what does your team do? How much money does that team actually make? How much money does that league actually make? Because, like I said, remember, going back to CBAs, when it comes to CBAs, when athletes know how much their image, how much money that makes, jersey sales, well, not commercials, because commercials is different. Commercials is like the athletes themselves. But any type of press that they do on the behalf of the team, right? Television dollars, public appearances, all that jazz. Like when the savvy athletes know how much money's being made from those things. And when those CBAs come up, they make sure they get their cut. Rightfully so. So yeah, that's why the whole equal pay thing has always been like disputed, especially in sports, because from where I'm standing, from my vantage point, it seems like there is always the argument of collectivism versus merit. Merit. And those two things do seem to be in conflict with each other a lot. Like I said, me personally, I'm always on the side of merit, because in sports, that's sort of like the last realm um, of our society that is still merit based for the most part. But they keep chipping away at that system day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. The reason why people get so upset and so passionate about a lot of the injustices that take place in sports is because those quote unquote injustices go against that meritorious system. because at that point, then it's not based off of merit, you know. So yeah, okay, guys, because we're coming up on the 25-minute mark. So let's go ahead and let's talk about this transgender thing, shall we? Okay. Now, according to what my man Jonathan told me, he said, actually, let me go ahead and pull Jonathan's let me pull his message back up real quick. I need to pull that back up. Just give me a sec. I am pulling it up right now. Oh, snap. You know what? I did that incorrectly. I did that incorrectly. All right, let's go back to it. All right, so Jonathan said, he said that transgender people wanting to compete in sports and not be segregated to a specific trans division. Okay, well, so here's the thing about this. So I don't really keep up with that, honestly. Um, so this would just be me adding in like my 2 cents. I think it should be a separate division. It should be a separate division. Either that or, yeah, honestly, it should be a separate division because he also says in the latter part of the message, he says transgender athletes having great success going from male to female. Have you noticed that it's always the male athletes who go to a female division? It's never the female athletes who go to a male division. Have you noticed that the successful ones are the males going to females? Why do you think that is? And Jonathan follows that up with saying, and having a large backing that says they don't have a competitive advantage. Well, like I just mentioned, have you noticed? Actually, let me put myself back up on the big screen here. Have you guys noticed that whenever you hear the stories of of transgender athletes, having success, it's always the male to female transgender athletes having the most success, not the female to male. Why do you think that is? Remember what I said at the very beginning of this video? We're different biologically, biomechanically, biometrically, biochemist. We're different. We are different. We are different. Okay? That's why that phenomenon exists. That's why that result is happening. And yes, it is I don't think I would call it a competitive advantage. I think I would just call it an outright advantage. They have no, it's not a competitive advantage. It's a physical advantage. They have an advantage. Why? Because they're men. Like, duh. Duh. Um, Now I'm gonna be real with you. Anybody who says like that they don't have, like anyone who doesn't acknowledge that inherent advantage, honestly, dude, I don't know what to say for those people because you can't ignore it. I don't know how you ignore the advantage. So I guess you have to find you have to explain it away, right? You have to find some excuse for it, right? Um, okay, fine, you be my guest. You'll never be able to convince me that they don't have an innate physical advantage because they do. It's obvious. We can see it. So yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know how you argue that there isn't a clear cut advantage. I don't know how. That's kind of ridiculous. But like I said, pretty much where I stand on that whole, I think they should have their own division. They should have their own division. Why not? Let them have their own division. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, dude, like I say, I didn't have much to add on that portion of the discussion. I think they should have their own division. And I said why. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. That's where I stand. That's where I stand. Either that or stay within your previous division. So if you're a guy, stay in the guy division. If you're a girl, stay in the girl division. Simple. Simple. This shit ain't difficult. It's yeah. All right. So but you know what? But guess what? This video is just one part of the discussion. You know what the beautiful thing about discussion of the week is? I now open up the comments. Well, the live chat's been going on this entire time, but I now open up the comments to all of you watching this after the fact. In the comments below, let me know what you guys think. Let me know y'all thoughts on this, right? What do y'all think about the whole the fight for equal pay piece, right? What are your thoughts on that? What do you think is going to actually happen with the U.S. women's soccer team? Where do you think that what do you think the conclusion to that story will be? I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I actually think for going back to that piece, I actually think. I mean, unless you want to make the argument that time isn't on their side, I don't think. I think it is. I think time is on their side. I think when the next CBA rolls around, they're gonna have all the chips. Um, Yeah, I think they're going to have all the chips. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little bit too optimistic. I do not underestimate the um an athlete's ability to negotiate. Okay, I guess your mileage vary depending on who the person is, but to me, when it comes to professional sports, the athletes are always the ones that at the end of the day, have the most leverage. It's just a matter of timing, right? It's a matter of timing. When do you apply said leverage, right? Um, so I think I think the US women's soccer team, if they wait until the next CBA, I think they're going to have all the leverage, especially after COVID. Dude, they're going to have all the fucking leverage. Dude, aren't we supposed to have? Well, dude, we were supposed to have the Olympics this year. It got pushed back to next year. Might be pushed back another year, dude. I don't know when their CBA is up. They will have the leverage. But like I say, maybe I'm being optimistic. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Second order of business, when we're talking about the transgender athlete, let me know what you guys' thoughts on that is. I'm seeing a lot of people already sharing in the live chat. The live chat's kind of crazy. Live chat's kind of crazy with everybody who's going on. Um All right, so excuse me. So yeah, so that I mean that's pretty much my piece on that. That's where I stand on that. So real quick, I'm gonna start going through some of these comments. I see my man Trent's in the building. Trent, um, yeah, hit me up. Trent, yours is actually supposed to be the next discussion of the week. I needed to get with you to see if what day next week we were gonna do that. Cause right now I'm looking at Monday. So hit me up. Hit me up. Uh People are telling me to be careful with what I say and all that. Dude, this you know what? I don't mind dissent, dude. If it come on, guys, y'all know where I stand on this. If anybody got a problem with anything I said, they can go fuck themselves, honestly. Um it's okay to disagree. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind people disagreeing with me. I mean, that's the whole point of this segment. It's discussion of the week. It's not just supposed to be an echo chamber. I don't mind people disagreeing with me. But I mean, but if they're just gonna disagree with me and be asshats because I offended their fucking sensibilities, well, get your sensitive ass out of here. That's how I feel. This okay, Ferguson the Great. This is a good point. I'm picking up what you're putting down here, brother. He says, if by equality the person meant making girls having the same pay as the boys, you got to change the culture. It's supply and demand. Certain industries, male or female, will be favored. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That is true. Notice, because here's the funny thing about that. Whenever the myth of the wage gap comes up, right? I call it the myth of the wage gap because the wage gap is a phenomenon. It's not an agenda. So so is there like a earning discrepancy between men and women? Men and women? Yes, there is, but not for the reasons that the fucking mainstream media will tell you. No, no, there is no secret agenda. It's not the patriarchy. No, 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 no. I once again, I understand my personal experience is not the universal experience. I understand that, but I have always gone with, dude, I have never worked a single job where a female coworker made less than I did. Never. Never. It's never happened. I've been working. Dude. I turned 31 on Saturday. I've been working since I was 18. Never worked a job where my female coworker made less than I did. I have, however, worked jobs where I have seen women make more money than the men in their positions. It's never been my position, but in other positions, but no one ever talks about that. You notice how whenever we talk about the wage gap, we don't never talk about the fact like, well, no, first and foremost, they never tell you how they got that average, which is a gross average, by the way. It's a gross miscalculation how they got that average. I know how they did it, but they didn't take in consideration industry. They didn't take in consideration the amount of people, the amount of workers. They didn't take in consideration a whole bunch of factors that contributed to the existence of that phenomenon. Remember what I just said. The wage the wage gap, it is a phenomenon. It's not an agenda, meaning that it is a thing that exists, but not for what you think, but not for the reasons you think. It's a byproduct. Okay? It's a byproduct of a bunch of other things that no one ever talks about. Notice how no one ever talks about the wage gap in, say, the modeling world. Have you noticed that? No one ever talks about the wage gap there. Notice how they never talk about the wage gap like in the adult film industry. You never hear wage gap in industries dominated by women. You ever heard? When was the last time you heard about wage gap in journalism? How about the publishing industry, clothing industry? Interesting. Interesting. But that was a good point Ferguson brought up. All right, let's see. Man, gonna have to get out of here soon, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just worn. I'm just worn out today, guys. I'm just worn out today. Um, ah, Ferguson followed up with, "Yep, modeling industry. Yep, teaching. We don't talk about that in teaching, now do we? Yep. Mhm. Do, 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 do. I'm not seeing too many. Okay, here go one. Vin Frost. He says, "What are your thoughts on transgender taking part in women's sports and transgender taking part?" I think I already answered that. I think I already answered that one. Um, let's see. Sorry for the dead air, guys. I'm reading comments. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the dead air. I'm reading comments right now. Um, bu- 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 um, K, K, K. All right. Yeah. Yeah. It's just mostly demonetized. Hey, man, if I get demonetized for this, throw your boy some love. Well, technically, no, you don't have to super chat. I mean, this video's already been paid for. You don't have to super chat. All right. Let's see. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay, guys. I do believe it is time for me to get out of here. I know this one is a tad bit shorter than usual. I mean, because usually, discussion of the week goes for about an hour or so. Like I said, I just didn't have too many thoughts on it. So but yeah, Jonathan, my man, if you're watching, let me know, man. Because I need feedback too, right? Like, I want to make sure if I'm doing a review for you, right? I want to make sure that I'm actually, if I'm doing a video for you, sorry, if I'm doing a video for you, I want to make sure I'm actually doing a good job at it. So please let me know how I did with this video, please. And any pointers or tips you might have, suggestions, are always welcome, so long as they're constructive. Because once again, like I said, if you just not you particularly, Jonathan, but the royal you, the general you, if you're just gonna come here and comment to be an asshat, well, you know where to go, right? And you know what to do with yourself. So, but yeah, please feel free to let me know. Anywho, so yeah, guys, I gotta go ahead. I gotta get out of here. I want to thank everyone for watching live. We actually had some good numbers tonight, so I really do appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in live. Thank you so much for tuning in after the fact. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Share this with share this on your social media. Share this with anyone you think would get a kick out of it. I tell you what, though, I got a request for you guys. I need your help with something, guys. I need your help. Okay. Two things I need your help with. So don't leave. So 1 second. All right. Hang on just a second. I need y'all help with something. Two things I would like you guys to help me out with. First things first, let's talk about what happened on Friday. For those of you all who tuned into Friday's broadcast, you guys saw what happened. The broadcast just caught off. Okay. Long story short, YouTube flagged me. They were wrong. The video's back up. So if you have not yet seen Friday's video, it's the OAW news, the one where I talk about the PlayStation 5, the new Shaman King anime, and the passing of Denny O'Neil. If you have not yet checked that out, please go check that out. Please check that out. Please check that out. And share, if you dug it, if you liked it, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, share it, all that jazz. Because that video got shafted over the weekend, and it missed a lot of its time on on the channel. So please show that video love. Second thing I need from you guys, and this one is a little, more so intended for the patrons, but I know I got some of the faithful who I've done video. Okay, check this out, guys. If I have done a video for you all, right? If I've done a request for you guys, can you guys do me a favor? Leave me a review on the OAW Facebook page. Okay. That's facebook.com/OAW Entertainment. The link is in the description box below. If I've done a Patreon request for you all, or if your suggestion was selected from the super chat sweepstakes wheel, anything like that. If I've done any video that was suggested or requested by you, can you do me a favor and leave me a review, even if it's a negative review? Even if it's a negative review, that's fine too. I might have to go back and block it later, but that's fine. You know, um, leave me a review on the OAW Facebook page, please. I would greatly appreciate it. This is y'all chance to review me. Awesome, right? It's a win-win-win. And no, for the record, I'm joking. If it's a negative review, I won't block it. I won't block it. Okay, but yeah, I would really appreciate that. But like I said, thanks everyone for tuning in. Once again, as always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. But last but certainly not least, follow me on social media. Like I mentioned, facebook.com/OAW Entertainment, twitter.com/OAWENTMT, twitch.tv/OAW_entertainment. Of course, here, youtube.com/OAW Entertainment. And last but certainly not least, patreon.com/OAW, where you can, if you have not yet done so, you can become a patron and you can request a video of your choice, right? Whether that is, I need to stop doing that. Why am I doing that? Stop doing that, Larry. Ugh. Stop doing that shit. Okay. Jesus. Okay, where you can request a video of your choice, whether it is a discussion of the week, a top five, a anime first impressions, an advice corner, or a film or television review. There are tiers for each one of those. You will find them all at patreon.com/OAW. The link to that is also in the description box below. I'll just throw this out there. If you want to support the channel, outside of Patreon, Cash App, and PayPal, those links are in the description box below as well. I just started adding those because I know some people support the channel that way. Okay, so what to keep an eye out for later this week? Coming down the pipe later this week. Okay, so we're doing 4 straight days. 4 straight days. This was the first night. Tomorrow night, we are going to be doing first impressions of Steingate. Friday night is going to be the Blade 2 live commentary. Blade 2 live commentary. That's going to be Friday. That one, it'll be a little bit earlier. That one will probably be at 7. But yeah, Blade 2 commentary on Friday. And then Saturday will be the next Batman, the Telltale series, season 2, The Enemy Within gameplay video. I think that one's going to be hour number 9. So it's the second to last one of those. That's going to be up on Saturday. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. I got to go. I'm about to pass out. Okay. So thanks for joining me again tonight. Real quick, somebody asked, when is the next Q&A? As of right now, the next Q&A, I have a tentative date for next Friday. The reason why I say it's a tentative date for next Friday, and Ferguson said you got to give Steingate 3 episodes. I'm gonna do 4. I'm gonna do like the first 4. Right now, I'm towards the end of. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I fell asleep watching the second episode, so I got to go back and I got to finish the second episode. But I'm gonna do 4 episodes. Yeah, I'm gonna do 4 episodes. Okay, going back to the Q&A real quick. The tentative date for the next Q&A is going to be next Friday. The reason why it's a tentative date right now is because I'm still trying to decide whether or not I want to do a separate solo Q&A for June, or if I want to try and incorporate it in the 10th anniversary live stream, which is going to be July 3rd, the following Friday. The reason why I'm still trying to figure that out is because if I am able to get all of the guests for the 10th anniversary live stream, we probably won't have time to do a Q&A for that stream. But I'm still waiting to hear back from guests about who will be able to make it for the 10th anniversary live stream. So tentative date for June's Q&A is going to be next Friday, but I will inform you all well in advance if in fact the Q&A is a go for next Friday. Okay? All right. Now I got to get out of here, guys. Thanks so much. Once again, this has been Larry Williams, OAW Commander-in-Chief. I am signing off, and until next time, peace.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not